Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 11th Town of Gray Planning Board meeting. First up is roll call, and exciting news. We have two new members this evening, so I think I'll start with them. Charlie.
Present.
Dave.
Here.
Virginia.
Present.
Melinda.
Present.
And I'm Dan Cobb, also present. So we have a full house tonight. First item of business is approval of the minutes of the November 13th Planning Board meeting. Did anyone have any comments or corrections on that?
I did not. I move approval of the minutes as circulated.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
All in favor? That's 5-0. Minutes are approved. Okay, information exchange. I think Kristen has a few things for us.
Yeah, I just want to start off welcoming the new members as you have. I'm glad to have more than just the minimum quorum again, so looking forward to working with you both. And acknowledge the alteration to the 2026 meeting calendar. I know we had discussed that I think a little bit offline, but wanted to make sure that was on the public record. May date being May 21, 2026. Deadlines remain the same. It has been updated on the website. So I don't know if you want to take a formal vote at any point or if we need to, but wanted to make sure it was on the record. The Maple Leaf subdivision that is on your agenda tonight, we did receive the Army Corps of Engineer permit. So I wanted to make sure to update you on that. That just came through, I think, yesterday. So we have that in hand now. So the references to that in the memo, just so you're aware, are updated. And I wanted to also note that there is a workshop with the town council on Tuesday night at 5:30 regarding the new state law, LD 1829, that affects density in the town of Gray and the rest of the state. So if you wanted to get into the details on that, certainly welcome to come to that workshop. Tammy and I will be speaking with the council about the details and how it affects the town of Gray, and see if there's any actions they want to take to the extent that we can within the confines of the state law. So certainly welcome to come to that or follow up on it, and I can certainly update you on how that's moving along.
We did all
going
get
forward.
the summary memo of that by email, so
Yes.
if you didn't get a chance to read that.
Okay.
Yep,
It's
and
a good
obviously once
summary.
those go into ordinance changes, they'll be coming to you. Anyway, the actual ordinance changes will be coming before you, but if you want more of a heads up, early Tuesday.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, the date change, we already agreed to that one.
Yeah.
So
Yes, yeah, I just couldn't remember if it was during the meeting or after the meeting, so
it was
I wanted to bring it up.
during the meeting.
Okay.
It's good information to remind Charlie and Dave, though, because typically we're always the second Thursday,
Right.
so that one will not be the second Thursday. So if you have a recurring appointment on your calendar, like I do, make sure you change that one. Anything else, Kristen?
That was it for me.
All right. Vince, anything from the council?
No, I think we actually had a ordinance advisory committee meeting on LD 1829 on Monday to start chatting about it a little bit with regards to the changes. And then we had a meeting last night with regards to the transfer station ad hoc committee. We're trying to look at, we get a transfer station that supposed to handle about 4,000 people, and we're at 8,000. So we're looking at doing some changes and some upgrades and some adjustments down there. So, but love to have you next week. If one of you wanted to show up, that would be great, because that, as you know, that's an important one, and we need to do some things and put some things in place before it goes into effect.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Anyone on the board have information to exchange?
Nope.
All right. Welcome back.
Thank you. My name is JP Conley. I work for DM Roma Consulting Engineers, and I'm here representing SE Development, LLC. First of all, I'd like to welcome the new members. It's a pleasure to see a full board. We've had a couple of minor changes to the plan, but I don't think they're all that relevant. They're just minor details. Stormwater detail, a driveway section detail, a driveway detail, things of that nature. A couple of spot grades that we erroneously had located within a spillway, and adding notes to the plan. Biggest thing I'd like to report is that we do have all our DEP and Army Corps permits in hand at this point in time. As Kristen mentioned, we got our Army Corps permit yesterday afternoon. which was very exciting. It's been a couple of interesting weeks with the government shutdown and everything. I've reviewed the staff comments as well as the peer review comments, and I do not have any questions or objections, or I don't think there's anything that I can address. So at this point, if there's any questions for me that the board would like me to address, or if there's any details that they want to go over on the project, I'd be more than happy to discuss them.
Okay, so just to clarify, the staff comments and engineer comments, you're good with all of them and intend to incorporate all of them?
If we haven't already incorporated them,
Yep.
we will address all of them. There is a couple of outstanding things with regards to checking the existing conditions once the site's been created for site distance and drainage. The peer review engineer had one comment about essentially a culvert at the end of the cul-de-sac, or the end of the road where the hammerhead is. I'm intending to kind of direct that in a swale. There isn't a lot of flow or drop there, so basically creating the depression I need for the culvert is actually more difficult for me than to just direct drainage over surface into the backyards. But regardless, I'll address that to the satisfaction of staff as well as the peer review engineer. But I'm sure the solution that we come up with will be satisfy both of staff and peer review.
Okay. Just for the benefit of Charlie and Dave, this application is basically all but done. They've been here several times, probably many more times than they wish to be here, but we've made some good progress with them over quite a few months. So at this point, there's not a lot left to be done. They're just tying up some minor details that I'm sure you read in the memo. One thing that, Kristen, if you could remind me, please, because we have a motion for completeness tonight, and in the memo, you had a comment that we found the application complete.
Right,
don't
you would have found it
remember.
complete for prelim.
So,
Yes, I don't know, you need to do that again.
So
That's
it's-
kind of boilerplate, I must have just carried it over.
yeah.
Yep.
So, complete for prelim, but, so we don't need to do that again tonight, do we? Or do we?
I don't believe we usually do it twice.
Okay.
I mean, we can.
You can, to be safe. They do
Yeah.
have the permits now, so it's more complete.
Yeah. I think it's all set, but why don't we just,
I'll throw it in there.
let's just do it,
Sure.
because it'll only take a minute, and that way they don't have any problems. Okay, so yeah, I'll open it up to the board. I'll start with Melinda.
I don't have any
Anything
other
left
comments.
at this point?
Nope.
Nope,
Jen,
I don't.
Nothing?
Nope.
I don't have anything either, so
I
unless.
have a couple of questions. I
Yeah,
read
sure.
through it, and I got a couple of things. So on this State of Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry page, it says you may want to have the site inventoried by a qualified field biologist to ensure no undocumented rare features or inadvertently harmed.
We've
Has
gone
that-
through.
Has
May I
that been
respond to
done?
that?
Go ahead.
So ultimately, all the reviews from Maine Natural Areas came back that they didn't want any further studies or survey or require any. And that's why DEP has issued their permits as well as the Army Corps. That is related, I think, to the small world begonia and review of that. And basically, we went through a back and forth in conversation with MNAP and showed them the site and their review of it and their history of the site being that it was previously used for liquidation, harvesting of wood, timber. They didn't believe that it would be subject to revealing any begonias. So ultimately said that the project may have an impact, but not significant. So
I didn't see that documented anywhere.
it's just in the fact that they've issued the permits and the DEP has gone through. And so the Department of Agriculture IFNW and MNAP all work together and provide us review letters. DEP kind of vets that out, make sure that it's all in place. So at this point, we have all the permits we need in hand to start work, with the exception of the towns.
Anything else?
Just a couple more things.
Sure.
So on page 6 of 6 on the Natural Resources Protection Act, it says, on page 6 of 6, it says, do not spread grass seed after September 15th. So it's always after September 15th, so is there by this date that we're gonna seed the grass?
We do have winter erosion control notes on our plans in the details that tells how to stabilize the site after September 15th. And then again, I think the next trigger is November 15th. But essentially, they don't want you seeding prior to or after September 15th because it won't satisfy the stabilization.
That's what I'm saying, it's always after September 15th.
Yeah,
Except September 15th, so do you have to do it on September 15th?
No,
No, just-
we do it in this, I mean, you can do it anytime as soon as, I mean, you can do it in the winter but it's just not going to take. They want to see it done between May and September 15th.
Okay. And so on that map, can you point out where the culvert goes?
Actually, it'd probably be better if I show you on the screen. If they can bring the plans up for me, I'll detail you what we're discussing. So right now, the top of the driveway, or the top end of the road in this area, Lot 3, Blackberry Ridge, which is a 2-unit driveway off of Red Maple Drive, there could be a need for a culvert right here. And then further south, there could be a need under this hammerhead turnaround. What we're proposing to do is to intercept that water, run it across the driveway, and bring it around the hammerhead into the back. What that will do is allow us to keep yard space a little bit more uniform and flat. I won't have to create a 3-foot depression at the edge of the road to install a culvert because I need the cover underneath the hammerhead and under the driveway. And the fact that it's at the top of a hill, we're not going to have a lot of contributing impervious area for runoff, so there's not a lot of drainage area tributary to it, so I don't expect there to be a lot of flow here. So when we get through construction, depending how the site turns out, with the city staff and engineering review, we'll make that determination whether or not the culvert is required at that point in time. Just to that point too, there are 2 other driveway culverts that I can, on that same plan, and you can kind of tell the impact. These ones have a road swale, so they actually work well in intercepting and conveying water, but up in this location, we'd have a more difficult time to achieve the grades we need.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
All set? All right. Charlie, any questions? No. Comments? All right. So I think let's go ahead and just make sure we covered the completeness.
All right, Chairman?
Sure.
I'd like to move to find the application by SE Development for Planning Board final conditional approval complete for the proposal to create a 3-lot subdivision on the 17.21 plus or minus acre parcel at 30 Campbell Shore Road, tax map 56, lot 17-19-02, in the rural residential agricultural zoning district and the shoreland zoning stream protection district. Proposal subject to shoreland zoning standards and to major subdivision review.
Is there a second?
Second.
And any discussion? No discussion. All in favor? That's 5. So it's unanimous. Okay. And then our motion for approval.
I move to approve the application for SE Development represented by DM Roma Consulting Engineers for Planning Board final plan review of the proposal to create 3-lot subdivision on the 17.21 plus or minus acre parcel at 30 Campbell Shore Road, tax map 56, lot 17-19-02, in the Rural Residential and Agricultural Zoning District and the Shoreland Zoning Stream Protection District. This proposal is subject to Shoreland Zoning Board of Appeals decision and to major subdivision review, and is subject to the conditions listed 1 through 10 in the board memo.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded. Any discussion on the motion?
Nope.
All in favor? That's unanimous again. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just for the record, the board and the city didn't, or the town did not slow this project down one bit. This was seriously a pleasure taking this project through. We like what we've accomplished and what we've come up with based on your input and feedback. The staff, again, has always been excellent, and I think the town has done a very good job of collecting feedback from the neighbors on this one especially. And so, Mr. Chair, you guys did a great job, and the extra meetings had nothing to do with the town or any comments from you guys. So.
All right, well, thank you.
Thanks.
And, you're always good to work with, too, and we appreciate, in particular, how well you work with and for the neighbors. When you've been here, I really appreciate that, so thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Next up, we have new business. This is a sketch plan review for Maine Development Group, Hemlock Woods' Second Amendment. This is a request by Maine Development Group, represented by Steve Roberge of SJR Engineering, for Planning Board sketch plan review of a proposal to create a 10-lot subdivision on the 28.3 plus or minus acre parcel off the end of Blackthorn Lane at tax map 53, lot 43-02-12 in the Hemlock Woods subdivision and in the Rural Residential Agricultural Zoning District. This proposal is subject to major subdivision amendment review. Welcome back. Different application, but welcome.
I'm like a bad penny. I keep coming back here all the time. Hi, I'm Steve Roberge, SJR Engineering. The reason why Dan says that, I've been through a subdivision here, I think it was last year, for a project called Stillwater Pines down off of Route 115, not very far from where this project is going to be located. I also want to introduce the owner of the project, Lori Batchelder, is there, and then the lady with the white hair, the really beautiful lady, is my wife, so don't embarrass me when I'm here, okay? So anyways, way back in October of 2023, you folks already had approved several versions of subdivision approval on the original Hemlock Woods subdivision. The last time it was approved was back in October of 2023, and they basically made a lot at the end of the existing Blackthorn Lane, rather, for the house that was already existing. And basically that left the area of total woods that was still left remaining as part of the original subdivision. So what I did is I took this area and blew it up on Google Earth and constructed an aerial photo of what it looks like. As you can see, the last house is this house right here. Route 115 is way down the end down here. There's an existing road that comes all the way up to this house. And what this development is hoping to do is to extend Blackthorn Lane to almost 3,000 feet and 3,000 feet is a magic number. It's the maximum length of a dead-end street. And so what we've done is created this layout with 10 lots with a T-turnaround that has been designed on the conservation portion of the subdivision land use ordinance. And basically, we were able to get smaller lots in this area, smaller frontages, with open space that would be around the entire project. And basically, this area down here is also all open space. And connect the open space area with a natural walk-in area with a common area. So what you see here in red is the area that would be a potential walking trail that would be out there. The common area is located pretty much in the center of the proposed subdivision layout, and it would be utilized for more active areas. It could be like a picnic area. It could be, depending on how the association wants to use this land, it could be developed for, I don't know, horseshoes or a small wiffle ball field, or something that's more localized and unique that the people that are in the smaller lot subdivision would be able to utilize for their active use for the property.
Is this open,
Hold
sorry,
on.
excuse me, just too soon?
So the way that we came up with how many lots we can have on this project is through your land use ordinance that has net residential density. And it should be in your plan package. It's basically the same layout that I was just telling you about. 10 lots that are in here, but in order to determine how many lots are usable on this piece of property, we've highlighted areas that needed to be taken out or deducted out of the total land area to determine what the maximum density of the project can be. You can see a color-coded narrative and chart down on the bottom right-hand side of this drawing. It basically says this is how you, this is taken right out of the ordinance, how you come up with things that need to be deducted out. And where we've had to deduct things out, you can see we've got, for example, slopes 25% or steeper, we've got a green area there. So you look on the plan and you'll see only one area over here that has a green area in it. So that's an area that we deducted out for steep slopes. We also have polydrain soils are in purple. This area up here is in purple, and I believe there was another one here that was in purple. I can't see it right off. Oh, okay, purple right in here with the streams. And then we also have blue with land in the resource protection with 75-foot setback. That's the stream one. And then red would be forested wetland area that you see with the red highlight on it. The next drawing that I had, to continue on with that. So if you just did the raw calculation, we would typically, if there was nothing here to deduct out, you could get 15 lots on a piece of property. By the time you deduct everything out, run your calculations through, we're coming up with the maximum of 10 lots that we can have on this property when you deduct all this information. that 10 lots is what you have shown on your plan today. But we also note that there's the possibility of adding a density bonus for this. And I'm just gonna throw it out right now, but we haven't done the work yet, and we haven't talked with Kristen to find out if these things possibly could come into play. But we're gonna have public water that comes into the site. We're gonna have a trail system that will be around the area. The trails will have a recorded easement, and we get certain bonuses for these items that are in here. We've come up with the potential for 3 more additional lots. This plan that you see here, you don't have in your package, but this shows the 13 lot scenario that's there. The 10 lot scenario is here, and you can see the road is pushed up a little bit more. So our T-turn basically stops here with the cul-de-sac, the 3,000 square foot. The cul-de-sac is here, but we've been able to wrap 3 more lots around the cul-de-sac in this location. And each of these 3 lots still have access to upland areas without having impacts being made to any of the forested wetlands that are in that area. That's still in discussion right now. I think we want to go after the 3 lots if that's an available, if we've done what I think we've done correctly. So we would be coming after probably 13 lots at that point rather than the 10. Right now we're at 10, and the 10 lot basically is what we've what I've already presented to you. Each of the lots here will have public water. There's public water way down on Route 115. We'd have to bring that water all the way up to service these lots. Each of the lots will have a septic disposal area associated with it, and we'll have it's overhead power up to the existing house, and then we go underground power for the remainder of the proposed development. At the cul-de-sac or at the end of the road, we'll probably have a street light location. Lori, did I hit everything?
Just bringing the road up to town standards.
Correct. Yep. Right now, the existing Blackthorn Lane comes up, and as I said, it comes into this driveway. In order for this scenario to work, we are required to bring this road up to I can't remember what the exact title is that's in the book, but we have to bring the road up to a standard that the town will accept. I think it's an easement, a public easement area. So that road will have to be widened. It still will remain as a private road, and it is to be paved all the way from Route 115 all the way to the end of our road. That would be part of the review process that we're going to go through with this proposal. I'll have a plan profile that comes all the way from Route 115 all the way to the end of the road. Public water is out at, like I said, out at the end of Route 1, out at the end of Blackthorn Lane, and we'll bring that in. When we bring that in, we're going to dig up most of the road anyway, so we might as well bring that up to a standard that is a higher standard. Be interested to hear what comments or what things you'd like to see happen on the project. Lori and Kristen have had a meeting or two to discuss the project. When I first looked at this project, the existing Blackthorn Lane or Hemlock Woods subdivision was driving me nuts. There's been a lot of work that has happened on that, and Kristen advised me to just don't look at it, just do what I'm doing here.
Yep.
And when I do that,
rehash any of that.
yeah, when I do that, then I see what I want to do, but it's really convoluted on what I'm going to call existing Hemlock Woods. Be happy to answer whatever questions. Let me know what you want to see in particular, because I mean that's why we're doing a sketch plan, because I want to come back the next time answering all your questions.
All right, thank you. So for the benefit of Dave and Charlie, just process-wise, what we typically start with is we'll start with a chance for the board to ask any questions of the applicant. So I'll give each person a chance to ask any questions. I'll start with Charlie. If you don't have any, that's fine too. We'll be having more discussions later, so this is just any initial questions based on his presentation.
Sure, just my general question is, I'm looking at the 10-lot proposal and you're mentioning a 13, so I'm just trying to understand which is it?
Yep. Right now, we're only proposing 10 lots. In your land use ordinance, there is a provision that says based on, if you do these certain things, then you get a bonus. And one of the things would be, for example, public water. We're bringing public water into this site. The bonus is 10% of the number of lots that you have. So if I've got 10 and I get a bonus of 10%, I get one more lot that I can do to that. So we've done that. We're going to do the open space as being something that's not, you can't ever develop anything more in that area. And there was something else, I can't remember. But whatever it was, it got us to the level where I think we can get 3 more lots in addition to just the 10. But I want, before I make that an official thing, I want to talk this through with planning. But our intention is to go after those 3 additional lots.
Thank you.
So we're reviewing it in the context of 10 tonight.
Correct.
Anything else? All right. The one thing I want to talk about, but I think we'll cover it later during discussion, is the open space, particularly the common area, but we can hit that later during our board discussion. The one initial question I have right now, though, you don't have to answer it now, but you touched on bringing Blackthorn Lane up to the current required standard when you have the full build-out. There's a road association on that part of Blackthorn Lane. Is that true? That was formed as part of the consent agreement or whatever happened.
Correct.
So just want to make sure that you have or will have in place whatever you need with that road association to do that work, because us.
Thank you. That's an important thing. If we don't have that,
Right.
then we
So-
can't go after that. So
And what I
great
want to
comment.
clarify
Yeah.
is us requiring that to happen doesn't necessarily mean that you can do it. That's 2 different things, right? Because I don't know what's in your road association agreement, but for us to approve it, we need to require it, but that
Correct.
doesn't mean that that only has to do with your approval, not necessarily whatever agreement you have within the road association. So I just want to make sure you're addressing that up front before you get too far with us in case you run into some obstacle.
Yep, no, excellent. That's what I want right there. Yep.
That's it for me for right now.
You raise a really good point, but it does seem to me that right title and interest is something that we do require.
Correct.
And so maybe we couldn't even grant that approval if he doesn't have the right title and interest to improve the road as our ordinance requires. So maybe it is a little bit more tangled up, but yeah, for sure, I would say that.
It is, yeah, that's a big, actually, I'd flagged that as well. That is a big piece that we will need the RTI, because in order to develop this, the road needs to be brought up to standard, so therefore you will need permission to bring the road up to standard from the
Right.
people who own it. Well, we had discussed that. I don't know if you've reached out to them at all initially yet, but yes, to your points. That is a piece
On
of
that
it.
same point, you mentioned that the water is at the road and needs to be brought in. So all those lots that exist don't have public water right now?
They got drilled wells.
And when you're bringing water up the road, will that give them the opportunity to have public water? This area is very close to the Superfund site.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
it
so-
is.
It's super close.
It-
So is that something that will be possible for them?
Yes, my gut feeling is yes, it would be possible, but it would be possible at their expense, not at the development expense. Typically, I just did a project, trying to think.
Stillwater Pines has that
Where,
provision.
yeah, basically they extend, I mean, the water line will get extended. There is a cost that each of the individual landowners would have if they want to connect into that water line for up to 10 years. After 10 years, then it's just a connection that they can make through the water district.
Okay.
In either case, well, not in either case, in the first 10 years, this developer here would have the opportunity to say, yes, you can connect in and it's going to cost this amount of money to connect into it.
Okay.
That's my understanding of how that works. It's based, it's a water district law that that happens in that manner. That way it gives the developer a chance to recoup some of their costs for running, for this exact example. I mean, they're running a long water line before they even get to their project, and it's to our development's approval and benefit, but it's also to the individual lots that we're running beside, because they have the opportunity at their expense to connect into that same line.
And then the final question I have, and I know we're looking at 10 lots right now, but you've thrown out this 13, and to the extent you have these further conversations, I would say I'm familiar with this area, it's near my home, and it occurs to me that the density bonus, as I understand it, I haven't reviewed that ordinance closely, and the intention of it is that what you've shown here is a nice amount of open space and usable open space. But when I saw the sketch of the 13, you've eaten into the open space. Like,
Right.
why not just add your 3 lots into the existing lots? Make each lot smaller.
Yep.
Anyway, the 13 I know we're not considering right now, but if you come back with that, I'd like to see the most possible open space. That's the whole point of open space, is to
Right.
have as much open space and have the lots be smaller so that you're breaking up wildlife area less, not
Right.
the same amount. So,
Can I just answer that real quick? I think I have an answer for you. What happens is, this is our open space right now, basically down here. And we'll get a little bit of open space up here and then a little bit around here. With the bigger 13 lots, the lot size is still relatively small. I still have to have at a minimum of 35,000 square feet.
okay.
So each of these are all around 35,000 square feet right now on the 10-lot subdivision. And on the 13-lot subdivision, they're all around 35,000 square feet again. So I've tried to make this as, each of these lots as small as I can and still meet the minimum lot size that's
Okay.
there.
All right, I didn't appreciate that.
And I have the 3,000-foot length of a dead-end street limitation.
Mm-hmm.
And that limits where I can put this cul-de-sac, because this is right now at the 3,000 square foot length
Mm-hmm.
limitation.
Thank you, that's the only
That's it?
questions I have. Yeah.
Jenya?
I was wondering, did you guys get the ready-to-serve letter from actually district to confirm that they will?
Haven't done that yet, no.
Okay.
We would do that before coming back to make sure. We'll get willingness to serve and capacity to serve letter from them before the next time you see this.
Okay, thank you.
Or we won't propose the public water.
No, I'm good.
All good?
I'm good.
Dave?
Not sure I understood your question.
Normally,
Yeah.
with a development like that, when public water will be offered, first thing the developer have to ask the utility to confirm, like, for example, like, can you deliver 10,000 gallons of water a day? And utility have to write the letter confirming that they can, or that they cannot do it because they are up to the capacity, or the pipe size is not right, like, to deliver that amount, or. So that's kind of
Thank you.
important
Yeah,
step.
'cause I had the same kind of question. Good, thank you.
And it's a good thing that that's asked for, because it would be horrible to have a subdivision thinking you're going to do public water and then not have that available. So I'm on board. We'll have that letter if it's available to us.
And DEP actually, after last testing, said that they're not going to look on the Superfund site till 2050. Even. It's so bad, so that wouldn't even look, open the monitoring wells.
It's adjacent
So-
to my house.
So I saw in here that you're asking for a waiver for traffic analysis.
Yes. Yep. The reason for that is the existing intersection exists. It's got great sight distance in both directions.
yeah.
We're adding only 10 more units, maybe 13.
Right.
So if you did 10 trips per 10 trips for each lot, that's only 100 per day that's coming out of that intersection for this additional part. And then the peak hourly, each lot has one traffic peak hour. So basically it says you'll have one vehicle leave each of these sites in 1 hour. That's nowhere close to anywhere. MDOT typically uses 100 peak hourly vehicles. We'll be at 10.
Is that something we typically do? Give
No,
waivers?
that's not typical.
Okay.
It's a good, yeah, we'll cover that in our discussions as well, but waivers are not something we typically give unless it's a unique situation. Anything else?
That's all I got.
That's all you got? Okay, great. So again, for Dave and Charlie's benefit, typically next what we would do is we would refer to the comments per town staff section. And in the interest of time, I don't go through them one by one. Many of them are typically things that the applicant has to do. It's missing information. It's basically just a lot of routine things that they have to do. So typically what I'll do is I'll ask the applicant if they have any objections with anything in the staff comments, and if they don't, it's assumed that they'll do all of it. From time to time, there are a few things in here, like the open space. We will talk about that later. But that would be the same for the board. Is the assumption is they'll do everything in the town staff comments, and we'll only, we're not going to positively go through each one, but if there's any staff comment that you don't agree with, we can certainly bring it up. So that's your cue. Is there anything in the town?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't
comments
see the staff comments.
Okay.
So I don't know whether there's anything in there that is
All right, and so
good,
we
bad,
won't-
or indifferent.
We won't hold it to you tonight.
All right.
So do review them.
You know
and
what?
Plan on
I'm
it
missing
being,
that and I'm missing that.
something that you'll need to do.
Oh, for
unless-
sure, yeah.
Unless you
No,
specifically call it, unless you specifically, want to talk to us about it. But our assumption is going to start with, you're going to do what's in the staff comments. Sound good?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So does anyone have anything in the staff comments that they'll want to talk about? Open space, we're definitely going to talk about. Was there anything else?
It looks like the staff had some, there was section, or comment number 3 talks about the density bonus and various different reasons. I would definitely be interested to hear about why you deserve the density bonus. So it looks like there's various reasons, and which ones, so.
Okay, yeah, you can answer it to the extent you can tonight, go for it.
Sure. I'm not 100% sure what the staff comment was, but the density bonus that we have listed here is, we've got 10% bonuses for each ordinance section in section 401.13.13.C5, which is basically what we're trying to say is we're gonna have a public right to the trails by a recorded easement, and then a public water supply. So there's 2 units there, and then we'll have this trail network. It's not shown on this plan, but the trail network basically will come in through here and be able to access all the way around the subdivision. And then have at least 5 acres of this open space be protected from any harvesting of the trees. So those last 2 had only 5% bonuses, so they only had half a lot for each of those, which came out to 1 lot. So we've got 2 with the public water supply, 2 additional houses, and then 1 with the trail network and the harvesting protection in the open space area.
I'm just looking at the notes, which I appreciate you haven't seen, but there's a mention to a 55+ age restriction. Are you planning on that? No,
I don't
okay.
believe so, no.
And then, I will definitely, when you come back, how is the trail gonna work, especially with, if you do come back and seek more lots, because you showed a nice trail on the version that we have, but I'm not seeing it.
It's not on the 13 lots.
I'm not seeing it.
But it's on this lot in red.
But that goes over the lots that you're proposing to add, so.
Right.
You don't need to sort it out now, but we'll need to sort it out.
It would come back around and go in. There's an open space here. You don't see it, so I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
should have sent this plan to you, but we worked on this after we submitted to the town. But there's another open space, 50-foot open space here that connects onto the road. There's the common area that hooks onto the open space. And then there's open space at the end of the existing Blackthorn, not as desirable because you'd have to go through a wetland area. And there's another open space here that would come through, again, not as desirable because it's in a wetland area. But then you also have an access that goes all the way around the perimeter of the parcel. We're thinking of this, well, at least I'm thinking of this as a walking trail sort of system that people that are in the neighborhood might want to use for either jogging or taking the dog out for a walk on the trails. I'm not thinking of this as being like a manicured trail system. It's mostly just a marked trail that says, okay, you know, arrow points that way, so you're going that way until you find the other arrow that's there. And you just keep following that along. With time, it gets worn, it wears itself in.
I have
On that
more
piece?
questions,
Okay.
yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, so we've got a suggestion to set a date and time for a site walk. To me, it feels too early, where he's not sure which configuration they're going with. So I'm not sure we need a site walk this early.
Well, it's a lot of
So,
snow out there, too.
Well, there's that too.
It's going to be harder to see a month from
So,
now.
well, that's part one. You don't know what your layout is.
Yeah,
And part two, I'm not sure what we're gonna see anyways. So I suggest at least for now that we hold off on setting a site walk, at least until he's got his layout.
yeah. The road stays in the same spot with either one. It's just whether there's more lots.
Well, I think
Along here.
you're gonna get a lot of guidance from us on the open space, and if we do a site walk, we're gonna wanna be able to see like what you're preserving and where and what it looks like and things like that, so.
Okay.
That's why unfortunately, this time of year is not
Right.
great, but.
I know.
if we're
Well,
stuck
are
with
you
what we're stuck
thinking,
with.
are you thinking it would be something that would be done in the wintertime? The reason why I'm asking, I'm open for it anytime, but I want to get my surveyor out and mark whatever you want to see now while there's no snow, because it's way harder to do when there's 3 feet of snow in the ground, in the woods.
Yeah, so what we would typically ask for is, we would want to see the center line of the road staked out.
Perfect, yeah.
And we don't need lots necessarily, because you can guide us when we're on the walk, you know, lot number 1 through 10 or whatever.
Sure.
But if there's any like significant, like if there's vernal pools, we often might want to see that, or wetlands, like
Yeah.
anything significant about the site.
We do have wetlands, and we do have a potential stream down here, but this is so far away
Right.
from where our development
Yeah.
is.
So basically, the key thing is the center line of the road, but.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess I
and
can
I'm-
take a straw poll with the board right now. Do you feel like we need to have a site walk on this, or do you not have enough information yet?
Mr. Chairman, I am an exception. I run around this area, so I have a familiarity with the area. I have not been down this road, so I would like to still have a site walk, even though I'm generally familiar with the area, only because, and the other thing I would love, in addition to the center line, is at least a couple of waypoints in the open area where you would propose a trail, because especially if you're trying to get a bonus lot for that, I'd like to understand what you're thinking for a trail, because it doesn't just say like the possibility of a trail. It looks like the rule is a developed trail network, which is, so I feel like that would be relevant in the site walk, is to understand not every single point of it, and as the way that our winters go, it might be mud season in January, so.
There is usually a rain week in there at some point.
So we might be able to see things.
Jenya?
Well, I think like spring is a better time because we will see what's going on with the water
Yeah.
at the site.
Well,
We
yeah,
never will
we're
be
not-
able to see it now.
That's true, but I mean, we need to work with their schedule too. We're not gonna delay them by 6 months, so if it happens to take them 6 months, great for us, we get to see the solid ground, but
I
we're
understand.
gonna have to play that out. Dave?
When do you plan to start? I mean,
Well, next year, but not until, good points. We do need town approval for this project, but we'll also need a DEP approval for wetlands. We have wetland crossing in here.
27.
Yeah.
Hey, that's tough.
You're talking to somebody that knows that really well. So I'm not sure. We want to get started, but we want to get started as soon as we get all the approvals. So DEP still is not meeting their deadlines, their legal deadlines. So
so if we had to wait till the snow is gone, would that disrupt everything?
it might change, whatever you see might change everything that we would have developed for plans. If anything, I'd rather have you go out now and.
Yeah, so
and see.
here's what I'm gonna suggest. I think I can envision we are definitely going to have a site walk if you start using density bonuses, because that's where the trail matters and you're getting credit for it. That's like 100% we're gonna have a site walk.
Yep.
And we're likely gonna have one even with the 10 unit. But we need to know what, like, I don't want to get everyone out there for a site walk thinking of the 10, and then it goes to 13, and then when we were all out there, we didn't look at where the trail was, right? Because you're getting credit for the trail. So I think
Right.
we got to do the site walk after you've decided what your layout is.
There's
That's
no road, there's no
Yeah.
road there right now, right? There's just woods.
It's all woods. Yep.
Hey, Steve, let's just do 10.
We're back to 10.
All right, so
Just to simplify a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
it just, unless you wanted to set a date at this point, that would allow enough time for me to work with the applicant to review the NRA, NRD calculations and make sure they're clear for 13 and just review that with them because we haven't had a chance to do that yet. But if they're looking for 13, we could kind of sort that out as long as he had a plan that's set for you to look at for the site walk. When you go, it hasn't marked out to the 13 at that time to your request tonight and marks out the trail and shows you that new sketch plan effectively. That could work if you're open to the 13. Because we usually have to set these out, we got to do butter notifications anyway, so we have to set them out a couple weeks anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to
So,
be
up to
out
you.
on a site walk potentially with the board and with the butters and confusion around what the plan is going to be. Like, it needs to be, you know, this is what it is, because it's,
Right, we need to have a solid 13 lot plan with a trail
Or-
in hand prior
or
to
10,
going
like
out
it's-
there. Right, either
I
way.
mean, if they're saying it's
Yeah.
10, that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can set a date if they're going to proceed with 10.
Right. What I'm saying is we could potentially set a date even if they wanted to proceed with 13, unless you're saying you want them to come back before the board formally and sketch with a 13 before a sketch plan, before a site walk. That's the
I
question.
just don't want it to change after we do a site walk.
Right.
I just heard Lori say that we're going to do 10.
All right.
So
Okay, so we can,
we're doing what you all have information on right now.
all right, so do we want to see the site? Yes?
I still would like to see the site.
So we have at least one. Anybody else want to
Okay.
see it? Yeah, okay, so we'll do a site walk. Let's pick a date. It's going to get harder now that there's 5 of us, not 3 of us.
How long do you need for the surveyor?
Oh, I probably want to have a couple weeks so I could work it in with my surveyor. Because what you're gonna want to do is see 50-foot. You're gonna want to see 50-foot
After dinner.
stations out there, and
Yep.
we got Christmas coming up.
It's not going to be in December.
No.
So Kristen needs 2 weeks for butter notification, so it's at least 2 weeks out. Anyways, so you're into January. I think it's going to have to be like on a Saturday morning or something, because it's still going to be too dark. And I'm limited these days. There's no way during the day I'm going to be able to do anything during the week for me. So I would, I guess, probably suggest a Saturday morning.
Well, the 10th
January.
of January.
Does that sound for everyone?
I can be there as long as it's not early.
What's early? 9 o'clock?
Like before 9.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
9 o'clock, January 10th?
10.
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock?
It's amazing how much that 1 hour you'll get the temperature to warm up.
Yeah.
It might only be 2 more degrees, but that's huge right now.
Steve,
Right,
does
so we're
that
gonna have
work
to
for
draft some
you?
more.
I'm actually away that weekend, but
January, what day?
10th.
January
10th?
10th.
Yeah, no, that should be fine. It's a Saturday.
Okay, so January 10th, 10 a.m.
Rain, shine, or snow?
Well,
You got it.
We've done that before.
I will be in the Caribbean.
And I'm in
You have to
the,
piss everybody off. That's where we're gonna be.
Okay.
now where do you want to meet? Do you want to meet at the end of the
Um,
existing road?
I think so.
Yeah,
Or do you
I
want
would
to meet way
say-
down at
No,
the
let's-
intersection?
I don't think we need to meet at the intersection. We could meet at the end of the road.
The end of the road by this
The-
house?
The inner end of the road.
The other end?
No, the inner, like as in where your subdivision starts.
Right in here.
There's a house right at the end of the road.
Yeah, there's a house at the end,
Yeah,
yes.
so as long as the road's wide enough that we can park a few cars on the side, right?
In the
I don't know what it
snow.
looks like with snowbanks,
I
but,
drove
Yeah,
down there the
snowbanks.
other day.
We'll figure it out.
yeah.
Okay. All right, so, yeah, at least a couple of discussion points we want to hit on. So Dave mentioned traffic waiver on that one. What I would say, I mean, we're not going to decide it tonight,
Right.
but we typically don't grant a lot of waivers. And the first point that we ask you to start from is why you need it. So if you can just draft up a narrative as to why you think you need it and why this is unique and why the requirement in the ordinance is not applicable to your
Yep.
site.
Can I ask one question
Sure.
about that? Everybody's idea of what a traffic study means. I can tell you, we've got 10 units. There's going to be 100 trips generated from this subdivision on that road. And the peak hourly will be 10 vehicles per hour at the peak time. There's others, and some people think that's the traffic study. There's others, like if you have a Dunkin' Donuts, that they want, how many cars are going in and out, and what's the rate of what's the traffic incidence that happens there. It's a very involved study. We don't generally get involved with something like that until we get above that 100 peak hourly number.
Yeah, so Kristen can advise
So
you with what's in the ordinance. I mean,
Okay.
we can't tell you here off the top of our head, but
Okay.
traffic study means in the context of the spot in the ordinance that she cited.
Okay.
I don't have it right in front of me, but
So the only traffic that you have to do the traffic analysis is for the units you're putting in, but not the ones that already exist?
That's what I would do.
Right.
We're just
So-
adding this amount to the existing road that's there.
So
It won't
you're
change
asking-
any of the road. We're upgrading the road to start anyways, hopefully, if the association lets us.
so you're planning to ask for a waiver to 401.7.4.e. So I would say review that.
All right.
And come back and when you ask for it, tell us why it's either not applicable to your project, or why the site's unique and it doesn't need it or whatever. And I'll just generally say, we don't generally grant a lot of waivers, so there's gotta be a good reason, because if we give it just because you ask, then every applicant that comes after you
We don't
is
need
gonna
to
ask for it.
Right.
So you gotta
Well,
give us a reason.
and I just throw this out. The subdivision that was in front of us, did they do a traffic study?
I'm sorry?
3 lots?
What's the question?
The Maple Leaf subdivision that was,
The subdivision that was right here, they got approvals tonight. Did they
Yeah.
do a traffic study
I
for
don't
3
know.
lots?
it's been going for so long. I know.
So I'm not trying to get them in trouble, absolutely not. I'm just trying to see if there's a minimum that you would allow to go through
So
without.
read the ordinance and tell us why your site doesn't apply
Okay.
to your site. Give us your sales pitch for why you deserve it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yes, they did not get a waiver for that, so they must have done it.
So there you go.
All right.
It's smaller than yours and they didn't
It
get a
is.
waiver. That's. All right, on page. Open space. So I think we should probably give you some thoughts there for sure. This is usually a big one for us. There's a comment from town staff about the size of the common area not being adequate to the requirements for open space. So make sure you work with Kristen on that.
Can I ask the question?
Yep.
This common area has an access that leads out to the open space. So I think I can't remember how many square feet I got, 30,000 square feet here, and I think I need 60,000 or whatever it is. So should I just put another line that goes boom across like that and say, okay, this is all common space and this is all open space? I mean, I technically meet the ordinance, but
So I think the intent of that common area is to be like a kind of a gathering area, like something that's a convenient gathering area for the people to use it.
absolutely, it's right in the
So,
middle of
right.
the,
Yeah.
of the subdivision.
But I think you could probably think about, you know, the first thing that came to mind for me is, can you shift one or both of those lots further down, right? And you can grow the size of the actual common area. I understand what you're saying, that you could, you know, define it however you want,
Right.
call it common area. But I think there might be some engineering creativity that could be applied to make that actual space out front larger.
Okay.
Just, you know, it's just a thought, I think, but I think you may get similar feedback from others on that. The other thing that I'll mention before I turn it over to others about the trail, and it's just based on some past experiences, especially with kind of what you're proposing, which is like a natural, not like a finished, you know, it's not paved or gravel or anything, right? You're thinking like
Right.
a natural,
Right.
natural trail. So definitely work with Kristen on defining for us what the trail is or isn't, because that was a difficult spot for us on a previous development where the wording was very vague, and the applicant did something that was very minimal, not even like meeting sort of the spirit of what was written, but what was written was so vague, it was very difficult to come to an agreement, and we got there, but it was a real pain, basically, at the meeting. So let's try and do a tight job of describing, you know, how improved or not the trail is. And the signage, I think, is another thing where there's got to be enough signage so like people don't get lost in the woods, right? And
Sure.
This other example is the trail was so meager and there were so few signs that it really didn't pass the straight face test. So just make sure you're doing something
Yep.
that is measurable, that we can approve, and that after you're done, the code enforcement officer can agree that it was done if somebody questions it. But within that, you know, you propose what you want. Those are my two things on open space. Anyone got any more on open space specifically?
I just want to tag along to one of the things that you said about the common area, and I'm looking at the, like, Lot 8 or maybe Lot 9, and it seems like there's upland near the hammerhead that you could move one of those two, and then boom, you've got a bunch of more common area. I'm no engineer, maybe there's reasons that you didn't do that, but reconfiguring your lot so that your common area is larger, it seems like you've got space to work with. You know, get
I'm
creative.
hearing that comment, and I am going to adjust it.
Yeah.
But for example, Lot 8, I'll probably move the property line down, but I'll probably keep the house where it is
Yeah.
because there's a steep slope that's
Oh,
there.
gotcha.
So
Yeah.
that's why I'm trying
It's
to
your
give as
plan,
much.
but-
Yeah, just to steal it back for a second. That's what I was thinking is,
Right.
I couldn't really see why you couldn't just shift the property lines
Right.
down.
No, I hear you,
And
and
then you-
I can do that easily. I don't know if I'm going to get to 60,000 by doing that,
Oh.
but I can give you as big as I can.
The other thing I forgot to mention is I did like, and I forgot to mention it, your location and the way you laid it out, because we often, other open space subdivisions that we've gotten, the common area is really not in a credible spot, so I did want to thank you for doing that, because that's a nice sort of premier spot, so I think you could probably make it bigger and better.
Yeah.
And I would say, because it is in a good spot, if you can't get to 60,000, I really like preserving as much of the woods as we can. That's the whole point of an open space subdivision, is to keep the open space. And so, ultimately, even if things don't, the space and the grade and things like that make something a little bit different, you have a reason for it. You pitch a reason for it for a particular site. So
that's something that could be waived. You have some
I'm
room.
not saying we're going to waive anything.
Well, I didn't mean that word. Something that is malleable, I guess, is the way I want to put it. That it does. I'm going to try to get as much of your 60,000 as I can, but I don't know that I can do that just by shifting the property lines. But I'll try.
Try your best.
I always do. You know that.
Anybody else specific to open space? Junior?
No.
Dave? Charlie?
This is, I don't want to waste the applicant's time, but for my own edification, where do I find the definitions, the difference between total open space and usable open space?
We're on, page 57, I don't know if it's the same for you in your subdivision
Thank you.
ordinance.
I'll look at it. Thank you.
All of residential open space is 4011313.
Yep, not bad. Thanks.
Yeah, you'll find open space is an interesting one that we get a lot.
It needs edits. It's
Yeah.
a little bit all over the place. There is also a grid that delineates the amount of space for each type of open space.
Just to maybe give you a bit more on your question to Melinda, yes, there's some flexibility. Like it's not really a waiver per se, but it's sort of like, tell us why you saved something really good in exchange for why you don't have 60,000 square feet.
Yep.
If you told us we don't have 60,000 square feet and I preserved a bunch of wetlands that I couldn't develop on anyways, that doesn't do it for us. But if
Right.
you have other upland areas, I think you can make it better pretty easily. And if you don't get all the way, I think you can probably come up with a decent solution that the board would go for.
Yep. No, I hear you. Again, thank you. That's the information that I
Yeah.
want, so I can come back and.
No, yeah, because we go around on open space a lot with people,
Right.
so it's better for you to hear it now than to come in with something that's all engineered and have us
Absolutely.
tell you we don't like it.
Yep.
Anybody have anything on number of lots or lot layout? I think they've landed on 10, so.
Nope.
The layout, yeah, I don't have anything. Looks pretty standard.
Yeah.
And then the last note Kristen had for us was anything on factors to consider. I don't have anything there at this point in time. Anybody have anything more?
I just add that I'm glad to see an open space subdivision before us.
I know you gotta go through all these requirements and everything, but the public water requires fire hydrants too.
Yes.
Yes.
You gotta have them, I believe, every 500 feet minimum.
I didn't see that.
This just came to my mind. Are you thinking or planning on sprinklers or anything like that for fire suppression? Haven't thought of it yet?
Well, if we have a hydrant.
If you got hydrants, you don't necessarily need to have house sprinkler systems.
Right.
You can, but it's another expense.
And I guess just way back to my first comment on the road association, you've also, obviously, you've got the utility to think about getting underground.
Are you gonna ask for that to go underground on the original phase?
Well, you're proposing it to be underground, right?
I'm proposing it from
Oh,
our subdivision
okay.
in,
Okay.
not for,
Right.
not for the
Okay.
original.
So you-
Because you'd have to, all the houses that are connected to it are probably aerial lines also. So you'd have
Yeah, yeah.
to, you'd have to redo the whole.
But the water, you still need to run the water, though.
Still will
Right.
run the water.
Yeah, so I guess where my comment was going is it's not just improving the road, it's also running a water line. So when you're.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's,
so-
that's the biggest thing. If you're gonna put the water line
Right.
in, you're gonna wreck the road that's there. So
Yeah.
putting it back makes sense to put it up to a standard. We're required to do a standard
Right.
anyway, so
So
it
just-
they kind of go together.
When you work that out with them, you have to have space for that, they have to agree that the
Yep.
water line can go in. That was all.
Yep.
Any other feedback from anyone for the applicant?
So if we were gonna run public water, go back on that one again. So if we're gonna run public water, and we're gonna make it available at their expense for the existing units?
Yes.
Should we get them to commit to whether
No.
they're gonna do it or
They
not?
can-
No?
They can do it
Well,
whenever they choose
gotta-
to do it.
we're
Yeah.
talking capacity again, like Zaya?
Right.
Zaya brought up. So if they're gonna hook up to it, then we're gonna need to know how much capacity we're gonna draw from that.
We can
Well-
add
well,
that.
they will-
We can add that in to size the pipe. It's,
Yes.
if you got a hydrant out here, you're gonna need an 8-inch line. An 8-inch line does little cities for public water. There's only 7 or 9 houses on the original Hemlock. So you'd only have 17 units total on this new water line. Easily can service that amount, provided the pressure is there. I was on the town's website, and they have the water line, they've run the water line on our side of Route 115, and it still goes farther down Route 115. So I'm hoping that the pressure is there, that we'll be able to have public water all the way out.
I'm doing it for a different subdivision, but you have to.
So if you're
fill
gonna
that out.
speak,
I have to like.
if you're gonna
Lori-
speak, you have
Lori,
to
you
come
gotta
to the
come up here.
podium.
I'm just letting you know, I have to put those in, those are separate
Right,
in the calculation.
right.
So just so you know, our TV audience of 0 can't hear you from the chairs, so you have to come to the podium.
You got this.
That's why she wants me to talk, but look at what she's doing. so.
Okay?
Well, one more thing.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody here for volunteering. Well, I don't know if you're volunteering or getting paid or whatever, but
yeah, we're
thank you for being a planning board member. It's an important function for us. It's an important function for the town. And by you guys helping out by doing this, it's very much appreciated. And you're going to be your first 2 pieces of subdivision that you'll be able to say, yeah, I did that one. And you'll be able to follow this all the way through. So thank you in advance. I'm the easiest guy to work with that you'll probably come across, and there's no question that's too stupid. Please ask it, because if you have that question, so doesn't somebody else. And I want to be right up front, and it's easier to work that way. You get what you want, they know what they got to build.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. So yeah, work with Kristen, she's great. She has a really good sense of what we're gonna be looking for on the open space, so
Yep.
definitely work that through her.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see
Merry
when you come
Christmas.
back. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor? All right, it's 5-0. We will close the meeting at 8:20. Thanks, everyone.
So,